It's PTSD Awareness Month, and with a mental health disorder such as this one, it can trigger falling into an addiction, leading you to struggle to find a way out. That's where Gateway Foundation steps in.
Amy spoke with Chief Clinical Officer Jim Scarpace to learn how they help those battling mental health and substance use disorders.
It's really important for us at Gateway Foundation to shed light on trauma disorders, especially because it has such a substantial relationship to substance use disorders. It's not uncommon for individuals who struggle with trauma not only to have increased depression and anxiety, but also turn to substances to self-medicate some of the feelings associated with traumatic events that they may have experienced.
So that's what you call a co-occurring issue, right?
Yeah, trauma really falls in that co-occurring disorder range because it increases other mental health disorders like depression and anxiety, mood disorders. It may impact relationships. What's most important is to understand and look for what are the signs and symptoms of possibly struggling with a trauma disorder.
Okay, so what are some of those signs and symptoms?
So one of the most important ones is to recognize if you're having continued intrusive thoughts about the trauma experience or reoccurring images, which are sometimes called flashbacks. Those really tend to increase anxiety, especially when they're not dealt with. Also difficulty interacting in social situations or maybe isolating yourself, which also increase depressive symptoms many times. And the other piece is something called hyperarousal, where you're emotionally on edge all the time. You may have emotional outbursts associated with the trauma experience. It may be difficult interacting with others. You may be having trouble with sleep, constantly worrying or thinking about what happened to you. So at Gateway, we really want to get people into treatment to help them address those issues as soon as possible.
I mean, to be honest, a lot of those sound like a lot of things that parents deal with on a daily basis. How do you know when it's just a matter of life versus a functioning disorder?
I think when it starts to interfere with your day-to-day functioning. I think trauma looks very different for different people and trauma experiences could be different. What's most concerning is when that trauma event starts to take you down the road of using substances to self-medicate those feelings or having difficult time interacting with others because you're constantly thinking about what happened to you. And we know that in order for healing to take place, people have to be able to share their stories. So what's most important is people access treatment as soon as possible. And at Gateway, we call that developing a trauma responsive approach, which is screening for trauma, helping them really identify what areas of their life they need support in, and really developing a treatment plan that will help them address both their trauma disorder and their substance use disorder simultaneously.
Yeah, I was going to ask, does it matter for you guys in terms of treatment if the trauma came out because of a substance use disorder or the substance use disorder came out because of the trauma?
It can happen both ways. I think what's most important is that they're addressed together. There are many individuals as a result of their mental health disorders or substance use disorders that put themselves in high-risk situations, which can create a trauma experience. And then there's others who, as a result of the trauma experience, start using substances to manage the intense emotions associated with the trauma. What we want to do is really invite people to share their stories, invite people to be able to feel comfortable in the treatment experience and understand that that trauma experience will lose power the more they can share it, the more they can talk about it, the more they can develop skills to manage it.
Okay, so where do they go for you guys to get screening, to get help?
So we have some specialized programs across the state of Illinois that really focus on trauma, but the first step is really accessing our website, gatewayfoundation.org, to understand how treatment looks and how we can tailor treatment individually to each person's needs. Or they can call our 24-hour call center at 877-505-4673 or 877-505-HOPE, and we can help them get linked to a program that's right for them.
If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, you can reach out to Gateway Foundation. Their number is on your screen, or find them online at gatewayfoundation.org.